Hello, everybody. Welcome to Trevor Truckin' Blogs. Or vlogs, should I say. Yeah. This is just me documenting my experience out on the road as a full-time trucker. Totally legit. Let's get an outside view of my truck. That's the perfect shot. Thank goodness I have a drone that's hovering to really capture how beautiful my truck is. Alright. Look both ways before you cross the road. It's just wisdom. And when I say both ways, I mean, left and right. Because what happens is when you try to get into an intersection, you have to look out for oncoming traffic because if not, you might end up in a crash that could cause mild injuries and even severe injuries, including death. So always look both ways before you start to cross into the road. It's just common sense, but sometimes it is worth repeating, you know what I mean? Now we are currently entering a construction site, and this means we must slow down. And as you can see, it says stop here on red. So we are going to follow the directive on that sign. Signs are posted all across the continent to let us know what we are supposed to do in certain situations. So that's why we have them. So I'm just gonna slowly make my way out of this mess. Right now, we are currently on the way to pick up a trailer that contains the goods. And by goods, I mean it's a trailer full of items that are sold and dispersed to several different industries and retailers across the continent, and perhaps even internationally. When I say internationally, I mean different continents, because even though this is America, we do, it's pretty common for us to trade and sell and get into business with other countries, because that's what we like to call worldwide commerce. And by worldwide, I'm not necessarily talking about like the oceans. I'm talking about continents. I'm talking about where people live. Unless you believe, in Atlantis, in which, when I mean Atlantis, I'm talking about a lost civilization that used to live completely underwater. I mean, by underwater, obviously, I mean the ocean. Well, not just the ocean. I'm talking about any of the oceans. Pacific, that would just be one example of one ocean. Then you have the Atlantic as well. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, and I don't have enough time to talk about the lost civilization of Atlantis, but there's a lot of research, a lot of evidence and proof that, Atlantis was actually real. Now, it appears that I have missed my turn, and the GPS was rather vague on that, so let me see if I could just kind of, because this guy guys behind me, and I don't want to interrupt. There's a police officer and, in other words, law enforcement. They probably, probably just having an average day. I don't think there's a lot of crime in this city, so, the police are just kind of chill. Just like me, This moment I am quite, chill. So anyway, let's get back on the right side of the road. What I mean is I accidentally merged into the lane for the opposite direction, the opposite flow of road traffic. Okay, so now we have our job offer. I'm going to accept the offer and take the job. And what I mean by that is when I accept an offer, it means I've essentially signed a contract with some type of company, and it is my agreement to essentially take the trailer of goods and deliver it to a destination. And by destination, I mean the spot that I'm going to be delivering the item to. So bear with me as I attempt to maneuver my truck into the right spot. Because what we're going to do is connect the trailer. We're going to hitch it. Okay? Just like that. And, yep, so it's happening, and it's done. And now we're gonna hit the road. And hit the road is just, it's just figurative language. I'm not actually gonna, I'm not gonna go out there and, punch the road. That's not what I mean at all. Anyway, it's a beautiful morning. We are here in the great state of Arizona. And I like Arizona except for the scorpions. There seem to be a lot of scorpions in this area. I found a scorpion in my hotel room. Actually, no, it was a motel, not a hotel. There's a big difference. But I found a scorpion, and it was like crawling on the carpet. And, I think everyone knows that scorpions are arachnids. They have stingers on their tails, and they're just nasty, nasty creatures. But other than the scorpions, I would say that Arizona is a fine state. One of the United States is what I'm saying. So we have a red light, but because this is American Truck Simulator, you can turn right on red because obviously, provided, of course, provided that it's clear. Okay, I'm not stupid. So now we're gonna get on the road, and I just want to give you sort of an outdoor perspective, just real quick. So we are transporting these, looks like copper, silos or tubes. I guess I should mention that I have sort of a contract with this steel and metal company. And the deal is, according to when I talked about this earlier, about the contract, which is like a piece of paper, that one day I went into the office of the company and I signed it within a black pen, fountain ink pen. I don't quite remember what the brand was. It's very relevant to the story, but I signed the contract in cursive, both first name and last name, and I had had the sign at another part as well, because there's, there's information release articles. There's also waivers. There's also intellectual property agreements. Just a lot of stuff that you probably wouldn't expect. Anyway, I have a yield sign, so I'm just gonna make sure no traffic is coming my way. And now I have yielded onto the road, and the speed limit is 65. And by 65, I mean miles per hour. Okay. But it's a very beautiful day, nice day to be driving. The road is not really filled all that much with traffic, and I'm really having a great time here in this desert area. When I say desert, I'm not talking about it's not just sand, believe it or not, people. Deserts can have some greenery. Deserts can have some vegetation, as we see to the left and right of us. And because this truck is going slow, I'm just gonna pass, no big deal. And before you merge into the right lane, you check your mirror. You start to merge over, provided, of course, that you have signaled your intention with the blinker, and then you're back on the road. And you'll notice, of course, that I'm speeding, going 75 and a 65. That is called reckless driving. And when I say reckless driving, I mean that I am speeding along with very little regard for the laws of society that we have agreed benefit us most on the road. And by road, I could be, I'm talking about interstates, I'm talking about highways, I'm talking about back roads. It doesn't matter. Our government, our state government, well, federal and state, I suppose, have agreed, have come together, have tested these roads, and have determined the safest speed that cars can go on these roads. So it's posted on a sign, posted at certain intervals, and we follow these speed limit signs, right? And typically you can go over the speed limit by a little bit. Like, I'm going 67, which is fine. I'm not gonna have a meltdown because of that, but I do want to apologize because this is a video, and a video that will be uploaded to the internet. And by uploaded, I mean that the file will be broken into bits, and each of those bits will be basically transported to a server somewhere in California, would be my guess. And each bit contains voice and video data, okay? And even though it is broken down, broken apart into packets, the packets will basically realign and reconstruct once they reach the server, okay? And by server, I'm not talking about like a random dude who works at a restaurant. Okay, by server, you gotta pick up the context of the conversation. By server, I mean basically any type of computer or device that stores data. And by data, I'm talking about it could be, Word files, it could be video files, it could be music, any type of sound effect. It could be just, databases, data sheets, slideshow presentations. There are so many different types of data that it's not even funny. I mean, by data, I mean almost anything, really. by anything, what I'm saying by anything is anything digital, anything that can be digitized. So you know, obviously you can't store food in a computer, right? That would just be kind of, you know, I mean, frankly, that would be ridiculous. That would be asinine. I mean, okay, well, I take that back. Technically, if you have one of those big, you know, like those really big gaming PCs and you open it up, I guess you could technically put like a little snack inside. But why would you do that? So anyway, I've kind of been rambling on for a good 15 or so minutes, and by 15 minutes, I'm not saying exactly 15 minutes because time continues to move on. And by time, I'm referring to the illusion of time, right? Because it all seems so, like, arbitrary that we have clocks and that we have watches and phones that tell time, because, you know, who was the one that decided that there are 12 hours in a day? Who was the one who decided that, you know, the day begins at midnight, the day begins at 12 a.m.? Well, why couldn't the day begin at 5 a.m., you know? So, yeah, there's me going off again. Soon I'll be talking about my belief that the earth is flat. I'm just kidding, of course. And by kidding, I mean a joke. And by joke, I mean a jest. And by a jest, I mean that I'm just fooling around with you. And by fooling around, I mean I'm trying to make you laugh. Laughter is a common response to a joke. And how do I describe laughter? It's basically when you have sort of this uncontrollable spasm that starts in your chest and works its way upward to your throat. Your vocal cords then start to vibrate into what is known as laughter. So when I make a joke, your brain perceives, so it goes way beyond that. Your brain perceives that I'm not being serious because it's smart enough to understand social cues. So your brain converts the sounds that I make into words, you know? And these words have meanings that our brain can parse in less than 1 second. So you, by the time I'm telling the joke, already know what it is. You already know that I'm not serious about what I'm saying. So, when I say the words, the earth is flat, based on my body language, which, to be fair, you can't see, but based on the way I say it, you understand that it's a joke. Your brain also understands the tone, the subtle things that are picked up. And so your brain just knows right away what it is, right? And then humor is so varied and so subjective. So for all I know, maybe you're just staring at your computer screen. Maybe it wasn't that funny, and that's fine. You know, not every joke lands. And when I say lands, I'm not talking about like an airplane that lands on a, you know, back at the airport. Like, I'm talking about whether you get the joke. And by get the joke, what I mean is whether the joke resonates with you. And when I say resonate, that's basically me saying whether the joke makes you laugh. And I already explained what laughter was. It is a response to something that your brain has translated into something that is funny. And by funny, what I'm talking about is the state of the lack of seriousness in what someone says. I don't know about about you, but this very one-sided conversation has worn me out. So, I just want to say thank you for watching this video log or vlog. And who knows, maybe, and by maybe, I'm just talking about uncertainty. Maybe I'll post another one sometime, okay? So, until next time, have a nice day, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.